to go ahead and recommend that you don't watch this one at night.
No! Stop, please. Please.
This creepy video comes from Dee's Dark Adventures. I'll tag it below. And after hiking on a strange trail in the woods of Ohio, she begins to be hunted by something in the distance, and it does not go well. Because not only does it look much larger than her, but it follows her all the way out of the woods. And you can tell she was terrified. I cut it down 4 times, but here's how it all started. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. I can't go home. Please, I'm leaving.
After that scare, she makes it safely out of the woods. That is until she hears movement behind her, and turns around and sees something in the tree line.
Is she there by herself? My goodness.
What is that?
Girl, get out of there.
Fuck is it? Dude, no! It looks like a person, man. But no person. It looks like a fucking person. Stop.
Wow. You see
I
it?
ain't a person. It just keeps getting up and down. Stop.
Oh my goodness. It's giving me goosebumps. Oh, I can't.
Somebody drive by.
Oh my goodness, she's there by herself. Oh my goodness, I would be freaking out.
A Golden Shower. A Golden Shower by Kinsey Mazing. Sarah always wanted to experience a golden shower, but it was beyond her power. Her friends always talked about getting one, and to Sarah, it sounded like so much fun. Steve gave me the best golden shower ever last night.
What the heck is
Sarah's
going
showers
on?
were always so boring and mundane. It was such a shame. Well, yeah, bitch, you got pants and a shirt on. What are you doing? But where would she start? Who would take part? She needed to find someone to help. Maybe she could look it up on Yelp. Best place to get a golden shower near me. No, that seemed like too much. Maybe she could start by asking her crush. John, will you give me a golden shower, please? I'll even get down on my knees. No, Sarah, that's so obscene. Why don't you go ask Mr. Bean? Mr. Bean, I need a favor. You will be a real lifesaver. Bitch, put your fish away. What do you need, my dear? Do you need help putting that in your rear? No, not that. It's something more.
What?
Something I'd like you to be quite in for. I want you to give me a golden shower. Could you come over in half an hour? Oh, Sarah, I wish I could. Sorry to be such a drag, but unfortunately, I wear a leg bag. It's okay, Mr. Bean. You can still dump it on her. That's okay, Mr. Bean. I'll try someone new. Good luck making your beef stew. Then Sarah spots her. It's Betty Sue. Surely she'll know just what to do. Hi, Betty. I hope all is great. I have something to ask you that just can't wait. Okay, go ahead. I'm all ears. I feel like I haven't seen you in years. I know. That's why I feel like this is fate. I hope I'm not too late. Do you remember years ago you wanted to do something to me? Something that started with the letter P? Yes, I remember that quite well. You told me to go to hell. Well, I've changed my mind. I now know that this is my time. Wow, Sarah, I don't even know what to say. You definitely just made my day. Oh, wow, so you agree? Would you like to do it to me? Of course I would, you silly fool. I've wanted to since we were in high school. Oh my gosh, let's go right now. You can come over and show me how. Betty Sue gave Sarah a golden shower so grand that Sarah didn't even know how to stand. Bitch, why with the clothes again? Stop. Wow, Betty Sue, that was so great. I can't wait to tell all of my friends. And that is how the story of the golden shower ends.
I've been really trying, babe.
Steven, what are you doing in there?
Drugs.
What? And you're brave too, because I would not be doing that.
So even if TikTok doesn't get banned, and we only stay on Red Note for a couple weeks and then never touch it again, the act of this whole process of us migrating there en masse and getting a glimpse into the lives of Chinese citizens has been part of the mass awakening process. Regardless of what religion you are or aren't, you can call it revelations, end time, spiritual awakening, age of Aquarius. It's happening. This is part of the mass awakening, class consciousness, and it is inevitable because of social media due to how easy it is to become interconnected with people on the other side of the planet. I've traveled all over the world and have seen other countries firsthand, and so I was able to do that in my 20s. I was lucky enough to be able to run my own business and be able to afford to do that and get a glimpse into those lives, which I think helped me wake up as well. But China, we've been programmed from a young age to believe that the Chinese Communist Party is just this awful, awful country that it's like citizens are almost slaves. And while there are parts of that are problems, the majority of the Chinese people live comfortably enough and are more like us than we realize. And getting on Red Note and seeing these hilarious influencers with these hilarious memes has helped wake us up to that fact. China and America have been at odds and at each other's throats for decades. But the Chinese people and American people could be best friends tomorrow. We are not at odds. And this process of getting to Red Note en masse is helping this mass awakening, this class consciousness, and everybody realizing that, hey, we're all alike. We're all humans. For example, one of the first videos I saw in Red Note was a dude. He was about my age. He's chilling on his couch. It was like a brown leather couch. His house in the background looked like mine, had a couple tables, pictures on the wall, some plants. He had his like 2 or 3 year old toddler next to him on an iPad watching a video. And he was speaking English, but he was like in a t-shirt with like a silver chain. And he was welcoming us to Red Note. And like he was just sunk back into his couch, welcoming us to Red Note, giving us some advice on the community guidelines. And like he could live right next door or China. Just based on that video, you wouldn't know. Because it looked we were so similar. Like he was about my age. I have my own son, and like we're just two dudes that like he was getting a glimpse into that type of setting was even an eye opener for me. And that's happening all over the place. There are some of these people I follow on Red Note now. I could be best friends with them in real life if they were here because we're so like similar and so like unserious about shit. That is part of the plan. Whether it's God or universe or whatever it is, this is the age of Aquarius, the revelations, the end times, waking up. It's not the end times to the world. It's the end times to the old world, to the old way of doing things. The new way of doing things is living out of love and coming together and connecting with each other.
They're serious about it. TikTok.
That's what, in my mind, the end times and apocalypse and revelations is all about. It's the end of the industrial age, end of the age of Pisces, end of the Christian age there's all these different connections that the last 2,000 years, it's the end of that. This is now us transitioning into the age of Aquarius, into the age of love and age of connection. And even, again, if we never go back to Red Note and they don't ban TikTok, I have learned so much just in this last few days of being on Red Note, and it has opened my eyes and it's opened millions of others' eyes. So it's just another step in the process. Anyway,
Y'all just need to travel more. Then
My
you'll
thoughts
see.
on the man who went undercover at the Bonnie Blue 1,000 Men Marathon
Let me turn it up.
and what he saw. So, if people haven't read the news articles today, a man named Ali Walker had decided to be one of the 1,000 men and gather content for his TikTok to actually give us an insight as to what is happening behind the scenes in this fucking shit show. So Ali had wrote in the article saying there were around 30 or 40 guys around her at any one time, all taking turns. She was surrounded by guys. There were so many guys there and I'm quite shy. I've never been involved in anything like that, so I didn't get involved. Now, if you've got a weak stomach, please don't look at the next picture that I am going to attach. Okay? The aftermath of said
Let me see what's going on here.
party. Condoms and paper towels all over the place.
Ugh.
Now, my question now is,
I bet it's
when does this end? When does this stop? How, yes, these men are being STI tested, but what's to say that they haven't then gone on to sleep with other people after being tested and caught something in that meantime? That's my first question. Second question is, what is possibly next? What can you do after this? How far are you going to go to lose your dignity?
I mean, she did do 1,057 and 12 hours. So she still has another 12 hours within a day. So she can at least go for 2,500. Okay, that's pushing it, right? Who comes up with these goals? This is crazy.
In your self-respect. This is alarming. Scary. I say it numerous times. This is so damaging. So damaging that this is paraded around on social media like it is normal. This is not normal. Also, when is it going to be the point that these men who are queuing, yes, granted they may have been vetted, but what happens in these circumstances when these men may take over and take advantage of the situation and potentially kill this girl? That's my concern. This is not normal. Yes, it's got us all talking, but when the fuck does it end?
Ooh. What is going on with him? Oh my goodness. Oh, he was lucky. What's all that dust?
Never stand on these stairs at the lagoon, and this is why.
They're very shitty with that.
Bro.
No.
My guy just went from, like, watching this dude drop in to part of the wall.
Did you know that in Haiti, there's a love spell tree that you can tie someone to located in the cemetery? I am back with another spooky story. Pictures will be included. This one was sent to me by one of my OGs and she will be tagged. We're gonna call her Renee, because that's her name. I have another story time I want to share with you. It's something that happened in the cemetery in Haiti. I have many pictures also to send to you because I was able to get some pictures. It's a story of my friend and I. We had some researches to do in the Grand Cimetière de Port-au-Prince, which is the Grand Cemetery of Port-au-Prince. Renee said, just so you know, when you have to do something in the cemetery, there are rules. And if you need someone to guide you because you don't know what you're doing, you need to pay. But her golden rule was not to give them her money, but to buy cigarettes and liquor. So as a form of payment, she bought cigarettes and alcohol instead. So this happened a few years ago. This happened November 2nd, 2018. As a part of her anthropology studies, Renee had to conduct research on voodoo in Haiti. This led her to visit a cemetery to observe and experience some of the rituals happening there firsthand. Side note, this was just for knowledge. That day, she went with her friend. Usually, they go in groups of 4 people when they're doing something voodoo related. But this time, it was just Renee and her friend, as everybody else was busy doing what they had to do. So her and her friend decided, okay, let's just go together. When you're doing research on voodoo on your own, you often need a guide, aka a malfecte. And you need this person to explain to you the different spirits, the laws, the rules, and how they work. And on that day, they were guided by one of the malfecte who are present in the cemetery 7 days of the week. They had to go to Baron, and if you don't know him, that is a law in Haitian culture. They also visited all the necessary places in the cemetery. When finally they approached this eerie looking tree, they stopped to look at the tree. They were informed that it is a tree used for love spells, where people would attach items like pictures or small crafts to influence someone's love life or a decision. They can also make their partner spend all their earnings on them. That's a pretty cool tree. While the two are there looking at the tree with the guide notices something. As he's looking at the tree, he recognizes a picture, and it was a picture of someone that he knew. So in his emotional state, he impulsively just pulls the picture off of the tree, and instantly a terrible, overwhelming smell filled the air. It wasn't like rotten food, but something terrible. It was suffocating and almost unbearable. Renee says, but that's not the right way to do things. He didn't even go to Baron. He didn't even offer something to the crossroad. He didn't ask for passage. So there are consequences to his actions. After that, the guide started to feel dizzy and started to get really itchy. He was so itchy, as if you would have thought that he got caught in poison ivy or something. He couldn't speak clearly anymore. His language became slurred and childlike, as though he had mentally regressed. Renee and her friend were terrified, but they still need to complete this research. So they tried to insist on going somewhere else. So as they're exiting that area, they pass this place where they're doing ceremonial stuff, and the guy tries to get some powder to help with the itching. It didn't help. As a matter of fact, it made things worse. He then collapsed on the floor and just starts shaking uncontrollably, unable to regain his composure. He was literally quaking on the ground, unable to control his movements. It was terrifying to witness. At this point, the two ladies just wanted to finish and leave, but they had to wait. If you're Haitian, you know better not to start using someone's services just to move on to someone else. So they had to see this through, my boy. You can't just ditch him and go to somebody else. It don't work like that. So this seasoned guy was literally their only option, and also they were on a time crunch, as this research can only be done between November 1st and November 2nd. And guess what? It was November 2nd. So they had to wait for whatever he was going through to pass. So later, the guide seems composed and they continue with the tour. They moved to a different area where there was a réchaud trois pieds. I'm not sure what that is. I'll add pictures if I could find that. But there, the guide told them that there was a spirit that wanted to offer them a gift. The guide looks at Renee and says nothing. He was blank, as if he was a ghost. Then he turned to her friend and said, Erzli Doctor has something for you. If you're unfamiliar, Erzli Doctor is a loi/spirit in Haitian culture. He said, Erzli wants to gift you something, and you must receive it. You have to open your arms just like that, and I'm going to do this and that, and then you're going to accept the gift. Her friend refused immediately, feeling very uneasy and aware of the danger. The guide just kept pressing the issue. He kept insisting, take the gift. But the ladies kept saying, no, sir, we're not here for that. From when that guide touched that picture, whatever had gotten onto his spirit, he was actually trying to transfer whatever that was onto her friend. However, the friend resisted. So had the friend actually opened her arms to accept the said gift, it would have been the friend instead of the guy. Although the friend resisted the gift, the friend became visibly unwell, unable to handle the intense energy around her. They had to run to leave the cemetery and basically do their little ritual/cleansing while they're leaving the cemetery. You're never supposed to just walk out, right? Spirits can follow you home. Ever since the guy removed the picture from the tree in the cemetery, she said that anyone there can feel the energy switch. So anyway, they leave the cemetery, and before they enter their home, they undressed outside, they entered naked, they went to the bathroom and cleansed themselves in the shower. Her friend, however, was still not okay for the rest of the afternoon, but eventually she recovered. Thank you, Yole Renee, for submitting that story. That one was definitely a fascinating one. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get my account to 10K just so that I know that it's real. Duh. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for longer, better, spookier stories. As I always say in all my videos, I love you, my abducted humans, from your favorite Haitian homegirl.
A lot now.
All hands hoist the colors high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die.
He's crazy. I'm not doing that. Did he not see that fin? Hurry up. Oh my goodness. Oh. No.
I'm scared. Stop. Stop. Stop.
That's a skinwalker.
Max.
See that granny blowing you a kiss? That's 68-year-old Tamara Santanova, and she's just been arrested for dismembering a 79-year-old woman whom she was supposed to be taking care of. This is part 2, so if you haven't seen part 1, go view that. So Tamara was arrested and her apartment searched. During that search, police uncovered a diary. Within its pages, it detailed what Tamara had been doing for the last 20 years. And let's just say there were many, many more victims. The diary actually provided crucial insight into her mental state. As in, the pages of her diary not only recounted her crimes, but the reasons she did them. She believed she was performing black magic rituals on her victims. This includes her removing body organs such as the lungs, cooking them and actually eating them. Now, another one of Tamara's suspected victims was thought to be her very own husband. Now, during the trial, Tamara displayed erratic behavior, such as blowing a kiss.
He did something to her. I'm pretty sure.
Like you saw at the beginning of this clip. Now, it's unknown exactly how many victims there were of Tamara's, but during the trial she was declared mentally incompetent and therefore couldn't stand trial. Instead, she was sent to a psychiatric hospital. Until today, she's considered like one of the worst serial killers in Russia. If you want to hear more 7 Sin crime stories, you have to hit that plus button.
You know how dangerous aerated water is? If you look over there, you see the waves crashing. When it's crashing, you see the white parts come up? That's aerated water. Now, why is it dangerous? Because in aerated water, your body is less buoyant, which means you can sink faster, inhale the water easier, and ultimately drown. So stay away from rocky places with a lot of white water.
I was gonna say, she's not holding her breath for that long.
The disappearance of 3-year-old Riker Webb is one of the strangest stories I've ever read. So this is Riker Webb, a 3-year-old from small-town Troy, Montana. And on June 5th, 2023, this is how he looked when he was found. On that day, a family that was visiting their remote cabin in the middle of the wilderness heard the sounds of a little boy crying out from behind a shed. When they went behind the shed, they discovered young 3-year-old Riker. He was all alone, he was terrified, and they didn't know how he had gotten there, so they called the police, they located his family, and they figured out that he'd been missing for 2 nights. So apparently on the day that he went missing, Riker had been outside playing with his dog, and he decided to go on a walk by himself. Now, according to some reports, his family actually noticed that he had been missing but waited for 2 hours to actually report it to the police. And in that time, Riker traveled a very long distance. Now, just take a look at this little map. This is where Riker was at the beginning of this ordeal, and this is where he was found 2 days later. I think it's absolutely wild that a 3-year-old could actually walk that far in 2 days, let alone completely by themselves in an area that, according to locals, is heavily populated with bears and mountain lions. Now, during the time while Riker was missing, there were massive thunderstorms that were pummeling the area, water was pouring down from above, and at night the temperatures dropped into the 40s, so these were absolutely insane weather conditions. And even some adults wouldn't be able to survive this ordeal. So there are still so many questions that remain in my head about this case, like how he made his way all the way down from that point to that point, how he survived the elements. But at the end of the day, I'm just so happy that he was found and located and brought home safely.
Yeah. So we're all thinking the same thing. How does it work? Who does what? of course, he can only legally marry one, and in this case, he married Abby, and that's the taller twin on the left. And taking the picture this way is so criminal. Not the sister third wheeling in the middle? I'm sorry, the only way this could ever work is if they were a throuple. Like, of course, he could only, on paper, be married to one person, but the only way this right here could work is if they were a throuple. Now, of course, it's really not any of our business at the end of the day, but that's not going to stop my adult mind from wondering because they share everything from the waist down. So, you know, they got married back in 2021, and we as the public are just now finding out about it now. So, like, I just wonder, like, what was the honeymoon like? Then again, this could be an asexual relationship. You know, I don't think anybody's factored that in yet. But assuming they're not asexual, what happens if Abby, the wife, wants to, but Brittany, the sister, does not want to? You know what I mean? Like, how does consent work in that situation? And then people keep saying if they have a baby, who would the baby legally belong to? Honestly, I'm less concerned with that because that's just a matter of, like, you know, paperwork. Like, since Abby and the husband got married, it would be theirs. But, like, what happens if the sister, if Brittany still wants to date, but at the same time, Abby is trying to have a baby?
Right.
You get what I mean? This is a very interesting situation. I wish them all three the best, though.
I win. I had a baby in the car. Everybody else sucks. Dude.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
It's the best first story ever.
Oh. Anyways, if you like this video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.